My name is Sandra Robbins, and you are listening to this video because you've clicked onto my page. Now, I believe this page is very important because for many years now, I know that women, when I look at women's skin by being a hair and a makeup artist, I can see that the quality of their skin and their hair, it comes from within. Now, why I'm so passionate about this is because I actually believe that natural beauty first starts with internal beauty. So thoughts that you're thinking, foods that you're eating, how your digestive system's working. And I believe when that's all working well, that helps shine from the outside. And I am here today to introduce you to an amazing woman called Angela Smith, and also she's the founder and CEO of the Melbourne Natural Medicine Clinic. So stay tuned, and I'll introduce you to Angela. So hi Angela, and welcome to Evolved Beaty Blog. And today we're going to be talking about gut health. It's such an important issue, that the buzzword that's going around at the moment. And first of all, Angela, I'd just like to could you just introduce yourself and where you're from and your background?
So yes, my name's Angela. I'm the director of Melbourne Natural Medicine Clinic and also Intramedica. I'm a clinician. I've been practicing for about 11 years now, and I've been an advocate of natural medicine since I was 15 years old. So yeah, I treat gut issues every single day in my practice, and I love it because I see it as the hub or the center of a lot of disease process, unfortunately, that goes on.
And I actually met Angela because myself, I had a bit of a gut thing happening, and and then when we met, we kind of hit it off and we started talking about natural beauty, and I realized that there's a lot of women out there, and a lot of my customers as well, that we talk about gut health. So Angela, why, especially when we sort of, I find that when people, I can see it in their skin. So being a hairdresser, I get really close to people. Being a makeup artist, I'm doing their face. And I can sometimes tell by their skin that things internally aren't working for them, like maybe they're a bit dehydrated or something's not right. So from your perspective, why is gut health so important?
Well, as I said before, I see the gut as the center of all the processes that happen in the body, from hormonal system, detoxification, nutritional absorption. It manufactures your neurotransmitters. It's responsible for your immune system. So that's pretty much a big job of the gastrointestinal tract. So by looking after your gut, you're looking after your whole body, because it is the center of direction for many factors that occur in our body.
And so what do you think the main issues are with people not looking after the gut? Because it's like a central system, isn't it? And
yeah,
so
well,
I find
that's it. It is that central system. So I think the first thing with looking after your gut is looking at what you're putting into your mouth, and your gut has to process. So, and then learning what's right for you. There are a lot of fad diets out there. A lot of people telling you should eat this, you should eat that. One of the jobs we have as naturopath physicians is to avoid generalizing and promoting a fad diet or a diet, but to actually see the person sitting in front of us and create a tailorized diet and treatment based on their symptoms and what we understand is going on in their body. So I would encourage people to, instead of just looking and reading what other people think is right for them, is trying to understand what's actually right for them individually. And a practitioner is probably the best person and the highest education in terms of a naturopathic physician who can help guide you in that area. So knowing what's right to eat is really good for your gut, and that's different for everybody. But there are some general diet rules that do definitely help promote good gut health.
Yeah. And if I was going to ask you 5 tips for good gut health, what 5 tips would you give us?
Well, one big thing I think is important that can be missed is eating mindfully. So when you're sitting, you have your meal that you've prepared, is to sit and eat and be present and focus on digestion, be around people that you like, be in a good environment, take some time out and let yourself to eat properly, and then allow it to move through your digestive system without too much stress and, you know, having intense conversations or anything around any difficult conversations while you're eating. Because as soon as you're too stressed out, your vagus nerve, a nerve that runs from your brain down to your gut, just sort of starts firing at the gut and just says, you know, don't digest this meal, we're stressed out. So digestion gets put aside. And that's probably, you know, a very much an irritable bowel in some cases with people who are anxious and eat and things like that. So I think, eating mindfully, slowly is important, and chewing your food really well. So starting with the basic functions like that. Then in addition, probably another gut tip I would have is to find the vegetables that you like and eat a lot of them. So, and find different ways, be creative with your cooking with them, because vegetables are really where it's at for gut health. They provide fuel to the microbiome, they give us nutrition, they're low calorie, they're colourful, and you want a diverse array of colour through your foods entering your gut, because then you get a lot more nutrition and antioxidant value. And one of the other things I think is important with gut health, and that's also missed, I'm probably focusing on things that are perhaps missed in the media versus just repeating the same story in my tips too, if you don't mind.
Fabulous.
So is the quality of the produce that you're actually putting in your mouth. Where was it grown? How many chemicals was it grown in? What was the soil like? Because that's what becomes part of you. So I'm a huge organic advocate, because for an organic vegetable to survive, it has to be strong, which means it has to have a high nutrition level, which means it has to come from the soil, which means the farmer has to put manure in the soil, has to do things to build the soil up rather than just do nitrogen fixing and spraying for rapid growth. So, you know, eating high nutrient dense food with less chemicals for your gut to detox, I think, is also hugely beneficial. And then looking at how you cook that food, and then when you get it, so getting it from a market where it's fairly fresh, eating seasonally and not overcooking it. And then finding what's right for you. Some people find raw food is too much, it's too cold on their digestion, so you might need it lightly steamed, and you might want to add some lemon to it, or apple cider vinegar to beautiful warm salads and things like that through the winter. So, you know, I think if you do those things, you're starting to tick a few right boxes. But then unfortunately, as we all know, for some people, they eat really well, they eat very good produce, but then they also have digestive issues, and that's another factor in itself.
Yeah, great. Oh, that's very helpful. And that was great. Thank you. And
would you like another tip?
Yeah, so what I'll be doing is putting a link underneath this page for anybody that wants to, you know, visit your clinic. Because I've found, you know, working with you has really helped me a lot with my gut health too, because I can be a little bit overactive, a bit running on adrenaline a little bit too much. So you, Angela, have helped me with that immensely. So that's great.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
So I just want to say thank you.
My pleasure. And as you know, going through that process, you found out what was actually just going on for you in an individual way versus just reading something off the internet and thinking that this might work and then getting disappointed because it doesn't. And that's the beauty of a naturopathic physician, is that we will really delve in deep, we'll do testing, we'll try to investigate what might be contributing to someone's gut problem. So, you know, seeing a really good naturopathic physician, I think, is where it's at to get a lot of gut problems sorted. And if you go to our Intramedica Instagram or our website, we have a list of stockists on there, and a lot of those stockists are also naturopathic physicians that are using the product, and they are some of the best naturopathic physicians in Australia. So it's a little bit of a tip and a heads up on where to go if you are needing hand, if you're in Queensland or Perth or whatever, where you might be able to get a really good recommendation of a naturopath. Our stockist list is an excellent A+ list.
Fabulous. Oh, great. Thank you. That is so helpful. Great. Thank you. And no doubt we'll be speaking again soon. Thank you very much, Angela.
Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you. Bye.